Dave here with Half Dozen Customs. We're back out here for a little Monte Monday action. It's been a couple weeks actually since we've been on the Monte. I've been painting the Jeep, so that's been eating up a lot of my time. We left off with putting the motor in, and I think the next thing that we're gonna work on is getting this transmission all cleaned up so that we can put that back in and make sure that our drive shaft all lines up and everything, and trans mount works, stuff like that. So we've already pressure washed this transmission once. I believe we did it off camera, but we need to do it again. It has gotten super dirty sitting over here. You can see it's still kind of clean, but like where the dipstick goes, I just have like a paper towel shoved in there, and it looks like it was absorbing up all the trans fluid and then leaking it out onto the side of the transmission there. So that is super dirty. I'm thinking I don't know that we're gonna be able to hook into that. Like, I'd like to just hang it from the engine stand, pressure wash it, and then get it painted. That would just be the easiest way to do it. It cleans up real nice. Is there really any reason to paint it? No, but you know what? It might be one of those things where, like, I'll always wish that I did. So might as well do it. Let's see. So normally I would just wrap a strap around the base there, and we would, put a couple hooks, put a thing up here, which is fine. Or, we got these side ones here. Those are probably better to do. But then the tail shaft won't get painted where the strap wraps around it. So, do I want to put it on the engine stand? Well, first, let's get it out. And we can, regardless of what it's going on, I need to get it out of there, and we're going to have to lift it with the engine hoist. So let me get the trans out, and let's get the engine hoist out, and then we'll see what we can figure out. Maybe we should turn this around, because if we are going to be putting it on the engine hoist, it's facing the wrong way. See what she does. I expect it to pick up, swing, drop the torque converter on the ground. Okay, hopefully that's it. I don't know, is it gonna be too much tail weight? I can't see this transmission weighing more than a motor. I used to pick these up and put these in by myself. Used to. I think we're good. This is culprit. This is what made our mess. Looking for a plug. So spray a little gunk, little engine degreaser. All right, we're gonna let that soak for a few minutes, and while that soaks, I'm gonna drag the hose over here and get the pressure washer set up, and we'll go from there. All right, so we're gonna get this pressure washed up, and then I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna eat lunch while this drip dries, and then we'll come back out a little later on and we'll get it painted. Wait for the loud vehicle to pass. Colleen came out here and she asked me what color I was gonna paint it, and I was just gonna paint it like a charcoal gray. Normally what transmissions go, I guess. That or they go black. And she wants it black, of course. Everything black, black, black. She said she don't want to look under the car and see something gray. So, looks like it's going black. So let's get to it. You guys get wet over there? I think if I keep you there, you're gonna get wet. Alright, I don't know if you guys are on, but Figured while we had the pressure washer out, might as well clean up the shop some. Okay, so if you guys stayed through all that, now you guys can see how, like, you know, Monte Mondays turn into, you know, maybe I get a few hours worth of work done on the Monte Carlo. Because I squirrel, and, you know, we had the pressure washer out, I had the hose drag all the way over here. I might as well pressure wash off my tools that are sitting outside. I might as well pressure wash the floor. You know, we just painted a large portion of that Jeep over here, and, you know, the floor was wasted. So now I would have had to, we're getting ready to, I don't know if you guys have kind of seen in the background that the tailgate for the Jeep is sitting over there. And I got to finish that up, and then we're bringing the Jeep itself back here for me to get that painted, and then it's time to reassemble everything. So I would have had to pressure wash this in less than a week, probably 5 days. I would have been over here pressure washing this floor before we brought the Jeep over. So since I had the pressure washer out, might as well get it done. So before we even started this morning, there was Jeep parts all over the place in here. So we had to clean up that. I had a huge table that was built on sawhorses with a plywood top and 2x4 runners down the sides that had the fenders mounted to it and all this crazy stuff. When you guys get to see the Jeep video later on down the road, you guys will understand what I went through. But we tore all that stuff down this morning before I could even get to the trans, because I couldn't even get the trans out the door without cleaning all that stuff up. That stuff is now in Colleen's garage, done, wet sanded, buffed, you know, ready to reassemble on the truck. So, but we've, yeah, it's just been, dude, that's how every day around here goes. It's just, you know, there's just always so much to do that you set out to do one task, and you end up getting 10 tasks done through the day that you weren't planning on doing when you started your day. So, you know, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but that's how, you know, I drift off and, you know, don't get 8 hours in on the project that I'm supposed to be working on because, you know, I drift off and squirrel and, yeah. So we got the transmission pressure washed. I'm gonna continue to let it dry. I'm gonna set up a fan in the corner over here, and just let it, I'm gonna turn this guy on and kick the fan on and help dry the floor, dry the transmission, whatnot. And I'm gonna go eat some lunch. I still gotta put the pressure washer away and put all the hose away, and then eat some lunch. And then we'll be back out here to get this transmission painted. We obviously will not be getting the transmission installed tonight, but hopefully next week we will be able to, you know, maybe get the transmission in. So there's still a couple things that, you know, are gonna need to be done after we figure this all out. You know, is the factory trans mount gonna work with this transmission? If it does, cool. We gotta sandblast it. We'll have to take it back out, sandblast it, paint it, put it back in. Same thing with the drive shaft. everything can work, cool. Let's sandblast it, let's paint. And then we can put that stuff back together. So some of the stuff we're putting together just to take it back apart. But that'll be a few weeks down the road. Hopefully next week we can get the transmission in and hopefully get the trans mount situated. I don't see why it wouldn't work other than just maybe having to drill some new holes and actually move it. You know, I think it's gonna have to be maybe slid back some. Maybe, I don't know, we'll find out. Anyways, enough talking. I'm gonna go put this stuff back away and eat some lunch because I'm hungry. I'll see you guys back out here in a bit. All right, I'm back out here. It's later on in the evening. We've given this thing some time to dry. I'm just gonna run over it real quick with some little wire wheel action. If you remember watching us do the motor, we did the same thing with the motor. Once we clean it up a little bit, we'll take a couple things off, and then we'll get to painting it. Something we'll have to do next week before we put the motor in. Somebody welded a bar in here so that they could hook their, it had a floor shifter on it. So that's what this is. Like, it had a rod that went from here up to here where the floor shifter was. So I need to switch this out with another one that we have. So we got to remember to do that. Not this week, next week, but. Okay, you guys still watching? Sweet. Alright, I think we're gonna just pre-clean this guy off. We're gonna pre-clean this guy off. I'm probably gonna throw a piece of paper over this so I don't paint my engine stand. And yeah, we'll get to painting. I also had that set up over there. I'm probably gonna just gonna pre-clean that up, and we're just gonna blow a quick coat on it just so it looks fresh. You're never gonna see it anyways, but I have a problem putting dirty, rusty parts in. So. And we're gonna have to, I'm gonna have to look through my collection of the trans covers that go down here. When we got this motor in trans, it didn't have one. I have a couple around here. Hopefully one of them will work. If not, we're gonna have to, we'll have to order one. So I'm not gonna wipe this because this thing has a whole bunch of snaggy edges that if we try and wipe it, it's just gonna snag paper towels or towels, whatever it is that we use. So I'm just gonna hose it down real good, and we're gonna blow it off. So I'm just using my 2-in-1 that I normally use on this. I think that was part of the reason why I wanted to do the charcoal gray, because I have 3 cans of charcoal gray engine paint, and I'm out of black. I didn't know that I was out of black. I would have went and got some if I would have known that it was out. But if this transmission's getting that hot to cook this paint off, something's wrong. Alright. I think she looks pretty. So, that looks pretty good. I'm just gonna hit this with some pre-cleaner real quick, and then I'll hit that. And then tomorrow I'll flip it over, and we'll do the same thing to the other side. But I think that's it. That's where I'm gonna end this video. We got this guy painted. Like I said, I'm gonna spend 2 minutes on that, spraying that, and then tomorrow we'll flip it. I'll spend another 2 minutes on spraying that. And we'll let this dry till next week. And then next week we'll dig out we gotta find the trans mount. It's around here somewhere. I think it's in the shed. We'll go dig out the trans mount. And we'll get this bad boy back in the car. I believe I already have the hardware. I think the hardware for it is sitting up top of that air cleaner there, as the hardware to mount it to the motor. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was a super busy day. Even though we didn't get a lot done on the Monte Carlo, I got a lot done around the shop today. So the floor looks a lot cleaner. You know, you can see, like, I didn't pressure wash this corner, so you see how blue it is. The whole floor was like that. So we were able to get a lot of it cleaned up. So I'm happy about that. We got we got a lot of the Jeep parts out of here. Got the transmission cleaned and painted. I'd have to say it's a good day. Got some tools cleaned. So remember to like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. We will see you next week for transmission installation. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm out. Oh,